Hello and welcome to my presentation. My chosen technology is the self-driving/autonomous car. What is a self-driving car? According to uscusa.org, a self-driving car can be defined as self-driving vehicles are cars or trucks in which human drivers are never required to take control. An example of this definition would be the Tesla and the car's autopilot feature. According to Tesla.com, drivers must stay present to the car at all times and be ready to take control in order to be safe. How do self-driving cars work? According to an article on thezebra.com, self-driving cars see through a technology called LiDAR. It bounces light off objects to measure shape, size, and distance. It also uses technology such as cameras and radars to drive safely. The history of the self-driving car. In the 1500s, Leonardo da Vinci comes up with the idea of a cart that could pull itself and push itself. In 1925, a radio-controlled car is invented by Francis Houdina. The car could start its engine, shift gears, and sound its horn. In 1939, General Motors creates first self-driving car model. In 1977, the Japanese have put a camera system into a car. This led to the testing of the world's first self-driving passenger vehicle. In the early 2000s, the autonomous car market is in full swing. In 2004, DARPA, the U.S. Department of Defense and Research, held a competition to challenge vehicles to self-navigate an 150-mile road in the desert. In the mid-2010s, major car companies began exploring autonomous vehicles. 2021 is the closest we've gotten to an autonomous car, and it is the Tesla and its self-driving feature, although it is not autonomous, and the German government even asked Tesla to stop using this term. Where does the self-driving car and its development stand today? Self-driving cars have steady progress in their development, slowly but surely developing. One of the most recent developments is the new feature in the Honda Civic, which can drive itself down the road smoothly and brake behind a stopped car. My prediction. I believe that in the next 15 to 25 years, the self-driving car will be perfected of all its issues, safe, and out to be sold to the public, because of the active and promising development of new features and technologies, and the active development of the solutions to the problems that current cars present. My first source is an article titled Self-Driving Cars Were Supposed to Take Over the Road, What Happened on CNN.com. Industry leaders have backed off their big claims. Way has said it will be decades before the technology is everywhere in the world. The leaders of many industries have told the public that it will be decades until the self-driving car will be in the world. This supports my prediction because even though the technology is developing, it's at a slower pace than leaders would like it to, illustrating that it will be at least a decade or two until the cars will be released to the public. Tesla, which has promised full self-driving for years, has delivered a less ambitious driver assist feature that is enjoyed by some but is a beta product with room for improvement. In this quote, the author describes how Tesla, even the most promising autonomous car developer, has developed a more disappointing product. This quote supports my argument because even though development is happening at a steady pace, there's been a lot of disappointment and delay, leading me to believe it will not be at least 15 years until the technology will be released to the companies developing LiDAR, widely seen as a key component for self-driving vehicles, as well as self-driving companies, have seen their stocks plummet recently. The recent decline in stocks of companies which help with the development of autonomous cars help my prediction because there are a lot of problems that need to be solved and all technology that needs to exist and be perfected for the autonomous car to exist, and the decline of stocks in the companies that make the technology shows that the development and perfection of the autonomous cars is slow and having slow progress, leading me to believe that it will be 15 to 25 years until the autonomous car is released to the public. My second source, GeekWire.com, has an article about Seattle and their new testing permits. Tech companies and automakers that want to test self-driving cars on Seattle streets now have to obtain a permit showing they comply with safety regulations. This evidence backs up my claim because it shows how development has moved on from closed testing to open road testing. Officials believe the cars are safe enough to test in public, but not safe enough to test without a permit, illustrating that it will be a while before they are released, but not longer than 25 years. Autonomous testers choose Seattle due to the fact that it has hills and bodies of water, and there are some wonky roads. This quote explains why testing in Seattle would be beneficial because it exposes the cars to new terrain. This backs up my claim because it shows that the vehicles are used to basic road and weather conditions. They are ready to go harder and to more public situations. I believe this is a sensible step for basic safety for companies wanting to test emerging tech on our public streets. This supports my claim because even though the cars can be tested in more difficult situations, they can't without carefully considered permits. This supports my claim of 15 to 25 years because of their slow but steady development in the public field. Companies seeking a permit have to notify the city before testing in order to gain a permit. Companies have to show information about their driver programs, the training, accident history, and insurance. The public must be informed of tests through 2 public events. This quote supports my claim because even though the cars are safe enough to be tested, they are not safe enough to be tested without the permit, which requires this information. This quote also shows how the cars are still publicly dangerous because the public must be notified before a test. This backs up my claim because while the development of the cars and their testing is moving fast, it's not moving fast enough, leading me to believe it will be 15 to 25 years before they are done. My third source, CBS News, is an article about the development of self-driving cars. There has been incremental but steady progress in the development of self-driving cars. This quote backs up my prediction because it talks about the slow but steady development of self-driving cars. I believe that at the rate self-driving cars are being developed, they will be done in 15 to 25 years. Among the new crowd of autonomous vehicles is the 2022 Honda Civic. One of the newest settings on the standard issue Honda Civic is it can drive itself down the road and then smoothly brake behind a stopped car. This quote backs up my claim because it shows how one of the most arguably basic cars has an autonomous feature. This means the release of autonomous cars is closer because if it's in one of the most basic cars, then it could be in more fancy cars in the near future. Elon Musk previously said a Tesla would self-drive across the country by 2017. It still hasn't, and instead the company faces federal investigations and lawsuits over some alleged instances of failure of its own autopilot system. This supports my prediction because it shows that even though there is a steady progress in development, there are a lot of malfunctions and problems with the autonomous car which need fixing. I believe this shows that the release date to the public will be 15 to 25 years. Near enough in the future, but a few decades away. I believe this gives companies and developers time to fix the problems that the current beta models of the autonomous cars have. In conclusion, based on the research I've conducted on the autonomous car, I believe that in 15 to 25 years, the car will be released to the public. The development is steady, and the problems with the current autonomous car are being solved at a steady, slow, but fast enough pace to be completed within the next 15 to 25 years. Thank you for watching this presentation, and have a good rest of your day.